In Iceland, they have one of the most open cultures regarding sexual relationships and nudism, which might be surprising for people from other countries and cultures. Conversely, it is also surprising for Icelanders that people from other nationalities feel embarrassed to show themselves naked or to have sporadic sexual relationships. For Icelanders, it is normal to talk about sexuality openly. In Icelandic culture, relationships and nudism are seen as natural, and they do not feel ashamed to express it. Icelandic women have significant influence in society and households. Icelandic women are usually assertive, take initiative, and are not dependent on men. Currently, Iceland is known as a destination to explore impressive landscapes, such as volcanoes, glaciers, horses, puffins, sheep, and other natural beauties highly valued by Icelanders. Undoubtedly, it is one of the most beautiful and impressive countries. An example of Iceland's stunning nature is Skogafoss waterfall. Surrounded by strong green grass in summer, but covered in snow in winter, it is 25 meters wide and 60 meters high. Legend has it that the first Viking in the area buried a treasure in the cave beneath the waterfall. Additionally, in the past, Iceland was also known for dirty weekends. Some famous Icelandic airlines contributed to spreading the message of sexual freedom with slogans like, "Want a daring weekend in Iceland?" or "A wild night in Reykjavik." Perhaps Icelanders see this with humor and do not take it seriously. For them, a night of fun with a man or woman is very normal, like a game. The airline I mentioned even has a game on their website called Lucky at Blue Lagoon. In this game, characters chase the opposite sex around Blue Lagoon, earning points if they achieve certain goals. Blue Lagoon is one of the most famous places in Iceland and also one of the most memorable if you visit the country. It is a spa with an artificial lagoon that stays warm all year round, allowing you to relax and enjoy a hot bath while it is very cold outside. Icelanders are very liberal. Both Icelandic men and women do not need to attend the first, second, and third meetings to make love. Sometimes, the first thing they do is make love to assess if there is chemistry between the partners. After the first date, a woman might be the first to invite the man to her house or apartment. Iceland has many women with initiative who lead family businesses while their husbands play a supportive role. In work teams, they can have the same status or even higher. In many countries worldwide, it is expected that men take the initiative, and it is rare to see women in leadership roles. In the United States, Mexico, and other European and Asian countries, there are written rules about sexual relationships. Generally, it is expected to have several meetings before having a sexual relationship. However, in Iceland, if a sexual relationship is considered important, it makes sense to achieve it first and then get to know each other. Iceland's history shows that equality between women and men and openness in sexuality can be traced back to their first inhabitants, the Vikings. Since the Vikings arrived in Iceland in 874, women stayed at home to take care of the children and became hunters, builders, and farmers, although there were also warrior women who could achieve leadership positions. Viking culture had an open attitude towards sexuality, with premarital relationships being common, and a woman could test her future husband's suitability. If the man did not meet the standards, she could decide not to marry him. In 1707, smallpox affected most of Iceland's population, killing around 12,000 people, or a quarter of the population at the time. Iceland was part of the Danish kingdom, and the king decided that every Icelandic woman should have 6 children, married or not, to ensure the population's survival. This was not considered unfair, violent, or shameful, but necessary. Iceland has a rich history of gender equality and sexual freedom. This is reflected in current laws and social practices. For example, in 1850, Iceland became the first country in the world to grant inheritance rights to women, equalizing them with men. Since 2021, couples with children have paid leave from work for 12 months with 80% of their income. Naked bathing in Iceland is not considered a sexual experience. You can do it in safe, uncrowded hot springs. Some hot springs you encounter across the country have the perfect temperature for bathing, but some are too hot, so check the temperature before fully entering. Swimwear is mandatory in public pools, though only the bottoms. Women are not legally required to wear bikini tops, and men are not required to wear shirts. Icelanders, both women and men, tend to be quiet in public places and do not talk to strangers. Although Icelandic women are assertive, take initiative, and are confident, it does not mean that anyone visiting the country will have dozens of women pursuing them or that it will be easy to go to their apartments. Even talking to strangers is considered odd and uncomfortable unless it is late at night and alcohol has taken effect. Iceland is one of the best places in the world to be a woman. Almost 90% of women work, and the majority of university students are women. Vigdís Finnbogadóttir, considered the first woman elected president in a democratic country, served as president of Iceland from 1980 to 1996. Gender equality from the Viking era is also present in current laws. If you visit Iceland, remember that the country has a positive view of sexuality and nudism, but Icelanders do not want their country to be seen as a place for sexual fun. Visit this video about Iceland to learn more about this fascinating country, and leave a comment if you feel more positive about this view of personal relationships or prefer your country's perspective.